This is our beginning point for the best lead we've gotten so far.
Something moving over there.
Is that a bear, maybe?
Check this out.
Look at that.
I think we found a handprint.
Holy.
The team uncovered something so shocking, it made them cancel everything. From broken trees and massive handprints to a gruesome scene with blood everywhere, they came face to face with a terrifying predator. The start of the expedition. The team was on one of their most intense missions yet. After years of searching for any real proof of Bigfoot, something horrifying finally happened that left the entire team shaken. They had been out in the field for a long time, setting up trackers and sound recorders to capture any movement or sound of Bigfoot. But for a while, nothing unusual happened. Suddenly, things changed when Russell picked up a strange movement near one of their trackers. This tracker was set up close to a rushing stream, and Russell noticed something was moving nearby. Without wasting any time, Russell and Maria decided to quickly cross over to the mainland to follow this strange movement. The team had already believed that there might be more than one Bigfoot on this island. Some of them even thought that a whole group of these creatures could be living there. They suspected this because of the many clues they'd gathered throughout their expedition. But what they found next confirmed their suspicions in a terrifying way.
And there's something in this tree above Ronnie, and he's not seeing anything. But I'm watching this thermal, and it moves to the right. And I realize that it is not in the tree above him, but it's on the ridge line further behind him.
As Russell and Maria moved deeper into the island, they came across a scene straight out of a nightmare. Bones and body parts were scattered everywhere. The ground was soaked with blood, and it looked like something big and dangerous had attacked there. This gruesome discovery made the team realize they were on the right track, but it also sent a shiver down their spines. They had never been this close to such a horrifying scene before. Even though they were scared, the team continued their search, moving through the thick, dark forest. The deeper they went, the more eerie it became. Then, they found something that froze them in their tracks, a massive handprint. This handprint was at least twice as large as a regular human hand, and it was pressed deep into the ground. Maria and Russell immediately knew this had to be a Bigfoot print. There was no other explanation for it. This discovery was the biggest clue they had ever found, and it excited the team. Maria and Russell wasted no time in contacting Ronnie, who had stayed behind on Ridge's Island. When Ronnie heard the news, he couldn't contain his excitement. The entire team was buzzing, thrilled to have finally found such a big piece of evidence. Ronnie quickly packed up and left Ridge's Island to join Russell and Maria. He wanted to see this handprint for himself and help the team uncover more secrets hidden on the island.
Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Up here?
Oh, yeah. The hand, oh my God.
Do you see that?
Those fingers look long as hell, dude. Whoa.
The massive handprint. Early the next morning, the team set out again to investigate the handprint they had found. They were eager to explore it and see if there were more clues nearby. Throughout their time on the island, they had noticed a few other marks on the ground, but nothing like this massive hand-shaped print. When Ronnie arrived at the site, he was stunned by how huge the handprint was. He had never seen anything like it before. But the surprises didn't end there. Just a little further into the forest, the team discovered something even more unbelievable: knuckle marks. These knuckle marks suggested that the creature wasn't just walking on two legs, but also using its knuckles to move around. This could mean that Bigfoot, or whatever was out there, might walk on 2 feet sometimes, but could also move on all fours like an ape. This was a big discovery for the team and added even more mystery to their expedition. The team was both excited and scared. They knew they were getting closer to the truth, but they also realized they might be dealing with something far more dangerous than they ever expected. This wasn't the first time the team had found something amazing. Just last year, Maria had discovered a massive skull. It had features that looked like both humans and apes. The skull had a small crack in it, which made Maria think that Bigfoot might be a mix of both humans and apes. This could explain why Bigfoot can walk upright like a human, but also use its knuckles like an ape when moving around. Now, with these new knuckle prints they found, Maria's theory seemed even more likely. It looked like Bigfoot could walk on 2 legs and also use its knuckles to move on all fours.
It would be able to walk bipedally, but it would also spend time on all fours walking
quadrupedally on the ground.
The team was busy studying the knuckle prints, trying to figure out what they meant. They believed it was strong evidence that Bigfoot might walk in two different ways. But just when they thought they had seen everything, Russell spotted something even more surprising. There were two different sets of prints in the dirt. Using a zoom camera and their infrared gear, the team realized that these tracks didn't belong to just one creature. They had found evidence that two different creatures were on the island. This discovery got the team even more excited and determined to keep searching for Bigfoot. Solid proof. Now they had solid proof of two different creatures on the island. They had found different handprints, knuckle marks, and footprints from both. Maria didn't waste time. She quickly sent all the new evidence to Bryce for further investigation. When Bryce looked at the handprints, he was just as puzzled. The prints weren't just from two different creatures. They were also very different from each other. Even though the team was excited about what they had found, they knew their mission wasn't going to be easy. They now had to deal with the fact that more than one Bigfoot might be out there, and each one was unique in its own way. This discovery made their search even more challenging but also more thrilling. The area the team was exploring was huge and filled with dense trees, making it nearly impossible to figure out exactly where these creatures were hiding. However, based on what they had seen so far, the team thought the creatures might be moving along the riverside. The river wrapped around a valley, creating a natural bowl of land. This smaller area seemed easier to search compared to the rest of the island. With this new theory, the team became even more determined to find out the truth behind the strange prints they had discovered. They felt that these creatures could be hiding somewhere in the valley. Even though the chances of proving their theory were slim, the team was ready to take the risk.
Good news is we believe they're headed east along this river, and according to the maps, the river valley forms a bowl with steep cliffs on each side.
They quickly came up with a plan to trap the creatures inside the valley, knowing that the success of their whole investigation depended on not letting them escape. Everything was on the line now. The team knew they had to search every inch of the valley for any signs of movement. The pressure was high. If the creatures managed to slip away, all their efforts would be wasted. The valley was their last hope, covering 20,000 acres of rough land, with mountains rising 3,000 feet around it. The terrain was difficult, but they knew they had to push forward. As the tension reached its peak, Bryce's voice crackled over the radio. "Maria, Russ, this is Bryce. Do you copy?" Russell responded immediately. "What do you have, Bryce?" Bryce's reply sent a jolt of excitement through the team. "We're picking up something on the drone's thermal imaging. It looks humanoid in shape." With this new information, the team quickly split into two groups to cover both sides of the valley. Ronnie stayed on the right side while Russell and Maria moved to the left. They moved carefully along the riverbanks, using Bryce's technology to scan the valley from above. Their hopes were pinned on Bryce's drone to help them corner the creatures they were after. Then, things took an unexpected turn. Robots joined in. Another group joined the search. Robots equipped with advanced technology, ready to help in the chase. At this point, it felt like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. The team was using everything they had to track down these creatures, and now the robots were part of their bold plan to capture even the smallest signs of movement. The drone team started their search using the best drones available, scanning the whole area from the sky.
Yeah, something's definitely moving around in there.
What is that? Can we zoom in on that?
Let me take a look a little bit closer with thermal here.
Oh, it's moving. It's moving.
There it goes.
Oh, wow.
While the drones flew overhead, the ground team, Ronnie, Maria, and Russ, moved carefully along the riverbanks, following the drone's lead. Bryce and the group of robots positioned themselves at a point where the streams came together in the valley, ready to catch any movement with the robot's thermal sensors. As they moved forward, Bryce's team picked up a quick humanoid shape on the thermal sensors deep in the dense valley. Maria and Russ, just a few miles away from the sighting, quickly coordinated with Bryce to direct the drones and robots toward that location. The team felt they were getting closer to the elusive Bigfoot, and the excitement grew as they followed the trail leading toward a nearby glacier. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the valley, Ronnie noticed something strange in the thick trees. He heard branches snapping and rustling, but it was too dark to see anything clearly. Realizing he might have found something significant, Ronnie signaled Bryce for help. Without hesitation, Bryce sent a drone to Ronnie's spot. The drone quickly picked up thermal heat in the area Ronnie pointed out. At first, the team wasn't sure, but soon their suspicions were confirmed. They weren't alone in the valley. Whatever the creature was, it was close, and the hunt was about to reach a thrilling moment. As Bryce watched the drone's thermal lens, he spotted movement just 200 yards from where Ronnie was standing. Ronnie could hear something moving, but the thick plants kept it hidden from view. The team was on the edge of their seats, knowing they were getting closer to uncovering the mystery of Bigfoot. The drone's thermal lens picked up rapid movements, but as the robot drew closer, the signal suddenly disappeared. This left Ronnie even more fascinated. The creature was so near that adrenaline took over, and without hesitation, Ronnie dashed into the thick trees, determined to catch a glimpse of this massive being.
Something right there. Sounds large. Hey, Bryce.
Go for Bryce. I have something just in the tree line. I can hear it. Sounds large, but I have no visual on it.
Bryce, realizing how close they were, decided to join Ronnie for a closer look. When Ronnie reached the spot, both he and the cameraman were in shock. Huge footprints covered the ground, clear evidence that Bigfoot had been right there just moments earlier. Even more shocking was the sight of massive tree trunks snapped in half, with a gap of almost 6 feet between them. This confirmed the creature's enormous size. Bryce, rushing to catch up, found Ronnie anxiously scanning the area with his thermal camera, hoping the creature was still nearby. But the thick trees made things difficult, blocking the camera's view and cutting off any thermal signals. Just when it seemed like the trail had gone cold, movement was spotted nearby. Ronnie's heart raced as he saw a humanoid figure walking through the trees toward him. For a moment, he thought it was Bigfoot. But as the figure came into focus, he realized it was Bryce. The two quickly shared what they had seen and agreed to continue following the tracks. The entire team was buzzing with excitement, hoping that this would finally be the moment they uncovered the truth about Bigfoot. With only their flashlights lighting the way, Ronnie and Bryce ventured deeper into the dark, eerie forest, tracking something huge, something that might finally confirm the legendary creature's existence. Despite the rough conditions, the team pressed on, their determination unshaken. And then, their persistence paid off. They found a direct path that Bigfoot seemed to be using to enter and leave the area. But what came next was terrifying. No longer the hunters, but the hunted. As they got closer to the glacier, the snow-covered ground revealed a disturbing scene, a fresh kill. The snow was soaked with blood, creating a gruesome picture of what had just happened. The smell of blood filled the air, and the sight of the dead animal made it clear they were now in the territory of a deadly predator. The team stood in shock, surrounded by the aftermath of the creature's hunt. They realized that they were now deep in its domain, giving the predator a terrifying advantage. Fear crept in as they understood that the creature responsible for this carnage was likely nearby, watching them. It was a chilling realization. They were no longer the hunters, but the hunted. Yet the team remained focused, even as they confronted the horrifying scene before them. They carefully examined the remains, trying to reconstruct what had occurred. It appeared that either an elk or a Sitka black-tailed deer had been the unfortunate victim of this savage attack. What puzzled them most was the sight of the animal's ribs, brutally split in half.
This has been broken through.
On that side too?
Yeah.
That's a big bone to break.
That was either bitten through or broken through.
Why would the creature intentionally break the bones? This gruesome discovery triggered memories of Mireya's earlier research. She had studied how early humans, during the Stone Age, would crack bones to extract the nutrient-rich marrow, which scientists believe contributed to brain development. Now, as the team stood before the fresh kill, they couldn't help but wonder, was the creature they were tracking driven by the same primal instinct? The chilling realization slowly set in. They were dealing with something that not only hunted with brutal efficiency, but also displayed behaviors disturbingly similar to early humans. This wasn't just any predator. It was a cunning, intelligent being. The team knew they had to stay sharp. This was no ordinary creature. Bigfoot massacre. As Ronnie and Bryce investigated deeper into the aftermath of what they now dubbed the Bigfoot massacre, their perspective began to shift. It wasn't merely that the creature had devoured the meat. It had consumed the bone marrow as well, echoing the practices of early humans. Bone marrow, rich in fats and nutrients, is thought to have played a key role in human evolution, potentially aiding in the development of larger brains. This discovery led them to a chilling conclusion. They might be dealing with something far more complex, a hybrid between human and beast. The earlier find of volcanic glass in nearby caverns now made perfect sense. Just like early humans, these creatures could be using the sharp edges of volcanic glass to slice through flesh with precision. As the team continued to survey the horrifying scene, it became clearer that this slaughter was not the work of a wolf, a bear, or even a large feline. No, what they were looking at was far more terrifying. The brutality of the kill didn't match typical animal behavior. It suggested deliberate, calculated actions, pointing to a creature with intelligence, intent, and a dark, ancient connection to mankind.
Holy crap.
Maria once told me that early humans used to split bones and drink the bone marrow, which may have been important in the development of prehistoric hominid brains.
Ronnie and Bryce quickly took samples from the bones, eager to bring them back for more study. They understood that these findings could help them learn more about the creature they were tracking. A creature that seemed to be part human and part animal, using tools and showing behaviors that suggested it was quite smart. The next step for the team was to work together. Ronnie and Bryce quickly told Maria and Russ about their troubling discovery and warned them to stay alert. All signs pointed to one thing: this creature could attack at any time. The evidence showed that these beings were heading toward the ice sheet above the stream, a place with food and a good hiding spot. Knowing that both people and animals look for places rich in resources, it became clear that Bigfoot had picked this spot on purpose. With this in mind, Maria and Russell decided to follow the creature as far as they could, while Ronnie and Bryce stayed at the kill scene to gather more evidence. Missing pieces. As they checked the area, Ronnie and Bryce saw something strange. The remains of the kill didn't look complete. Where was the rest of the body? There were no signs of it being dragged away, which meant the creature likely took the remains somewhere else, just like chimps do. This, along with the earlier sighting of Bigfoot by the thermal robot, confirmed what they thought. This was definitely a Bigfoot kill. Determined to find out more, Ronnie and Bryce got ready to search a new area. But just as they were about to move, they heard a noise, a rustling of leaves nearby. The sound made them freeze. Knowing what they were up against, they quickly grabbed their thermal camera, their hearts racing with excitement and a little fear. Unfortunately, the camera didn't show any signs of the creature's presence. Even without immediate proof, Ronnie and Bryce decided to keep going, moving toward where the noise had come from. After a few hours of searching through the thick forest, the sun began to rise and light up the area. Though tired, the team stayed hopeful, knowing the morning light could help them spot the creature. Meanwhile, Maria and Russell were working hard to follow the creature's tracks, eager to get closer to whatever was hiding. Even though they had only gotten a little sleep, the team was determined to track down the being that Bryce's thermal drone had found. They followed its tracks all night, but somehow this mysterious creature managed to escape them, leaving no signs behind. It was strange because the soft snow should have easily shown footprints, yet the creature seemed to have disappeared completely.
We know something big is headed in this direction because on that fixed-wing drone. But whatever it was has been able to avoid our
As the team approached a stream near a large ice wall, they found no tracks and faced a big body of freezing water. They were puzzled. Where could the creature have gone? Just as Maria and Russell thought about moving down to follow the trees, their cameraman spotted something on the glacier. He quickly told Russ, who saw a figure on top of the ice ridge. The figure quickly disappeared when it was noticed. Knowing they were onto something, Maria and Russell decided to check out the glacier more. This was not a usual place for creatures to live. Glaciers are harsh and tough environments, perfect for a creature that wants to stay hidden. Meanwhile, Ronnie and Bryce were back at the kill scene, trying to find as many clues as they could. They eventually found what looked like a claw mark on a tree, much higher than any bear could reach, showing that the creature they were tracking was big and strong. Even though they tried their best, Ronnie and Bryce didn't have much luck finding the creature. But they kept going, motivated by the fresh clues they found. On the other side, Maria and Russell were determined to get closer to the creature. The glacier's rough environment made them hurry, knowing this place was great for a predator but dangerous for humans. A big find. After hours of searching, Maria finally saw an ice cave, a possible hiding spot for Bigfoot. This was a big find. If the creature was inside, it could lead to a major breakthrough. The cave was a perfect hiding place, offering shelter, clean water, and protection from the harsh weather. Maria and Russ felt they were very close to something big. They decided to check the whole area for signs of the creature. Knowing the land was big and tough to search, they realized they needed more help. They worked out a deal with a group to get a helicopter, which would let them look at the mountains from above. The team was now closer than ever to finding out more about the mysterious Bigfoot. Searching on foot wasn't easy, so they hoped the helicopter would help them see any movement or signs of Bigfoot before it hid in the trees. The snow was good for spotting tracks, but sadly, they didn't find anything new.
Do you see anything at all down there?
I don't see any movement.
Oh, man.
The helicopter crew looked over the glacier as well, but they couldn't find fresh tracks or signs of the creature. The team felt down after searching all night, thinking Bigfoot might have hidden very well or had run away into the forest before they got there. Even without direct evidence, the team stayed positive. They had learned important things and were eager to use this knowledge in their next investigations. Revisiting the evidence. After 3 weeks of searching, the team went home. Bryce took time to go over all the data they collected, including audio recordings from Ronnie and Maria. He focused on the sensitive microphones placed in the forest to catch sounds. At first, the recordings only had regular forest noises, but then Bryce found something interesting, a low, unclear whisper that sounded like it could be from Bigfoot. This recording was made in the evening when no one was in the forest, suggesting the creature was there. Bryce felt excited and curious about this sound, and contacted Dr. Ronald Cosper, a linguist known for his expertise in rare and complex languages. Dr. Cosper had worked on translating Bigfoot sounds before and agreed to help Bryce. After checking the audio, Dr. Cosper said the sounds were like human voices. He found 2 different types of sounds, one that looked like a certain language pattern and another that sounded different. Dr. Cosper's study showed the sounds came from more than one being, hinting at a Bigfoot group. This was a big deal because it meant Bigfoot might be able to talk, suggesting there could be a whole community of these creatures. With this new info, the team got ready for a second trip to find this possible Bigfoot group. They had proof of communication and the chance of more than one Bigfoot, so they set out on a riskier adventure, determined to find and document the hidden creature. The team's next journeys would build on these discoveries, looking for more proof to confirm Bigfoot's existence and understand its behavior and home.